months later, just with some time to reflect, how crazy was that Liberty Bowl? And what do you think it did for the program just to get that win?
It meant a lot to the program to get that win. Also, just being able to go to make another bowl appearance for the program. So just to show that we're still on the right track, even though there are ups and downs within the season. So I feel like that win kind of jump-started our off season to where we are closer than ever, and we're just basically perfecting those small details, like I said once before.
KJ, no matter how much work you put in, it doesn't really matter if your offensive line can't protect you. And you've got more new starters up front than you've had before. How do you think those guys are adjusting, specifically the tackles, Devon Manuel and Patrick Kudus?
They are developing really well. Bo Lemmer, Brady Lathan has took them under their wing and just been staying with those guys after practice, in the meeting room with those guys, breaking down film together. So just making sure that their whole unit up front is basically confident. I mean, I'm confident in them. I feel like Rocket is confident in them, and I mean the whole offense is confident in them. So just being able to make sure that their confidence level stays up is the biggest part that we're working on.
What's it been like watching the transformation of Devon Manuel from 390 as a freshman to a redshirt sophomore at 310 now?
Just shows that he's disciplined, he's willing to work hard, and just to be in the best shape of his life, and just shows that he really dedicated and really wants to get on the field and showcase his talent.
As just a sophomore, Patrick Kudus is looking like he's settling in at the right tackle spot. What has allowed him to do that as such a young player for you guys?
Just the way his approach to everything. I mean, he's approached everything like a mature young man. He goes in and day out. He works hard. He's becoming a little more vocal now. We're trying to get him into that vocal role, so he's becoming a little more vocal now. But like I said, he come in, he works. He's just willing to learn. Also, just from each and all the other guys on the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, he just comes in, he just works. I mean, he's just working.
KJ, what do you remember about that crowd when Texas visited y'all a couple of years ago? And would you want to see Texas play Arkansas every year?
I would love to see Texas play Arkansas every year, and that crowd. I mean, the atmosphere was crazy. I mean, I've never been a part of nothing like that, and to see that it was actually a big rivalry game, like it was, and for us to come out victorious and the fans and storm the field and stuff. I mean, that's something that you dream about and you see as a kid watching on TV that you want to be a part of, and to actually be a part of it was actually a surreal moment.
KJ, to talk about another environment that you were in, to go back 2 years ago to that Georgia game, I mean, what from that environment still sticks with you 2 years later?
How loud it was. That's the main thing. That was a real loud game. It was actually just to be able to go to. It was a morning game, and for it to be that packed and that loud was just pretty surreal as well. To see two undefeated teams go into an environment and to actually just be a part of that was amazing as well.
Yeah, between the Georgia game, that Texas game, I mean, those massive environments that you've been in, has that changed your perspective on other stadiums you might have been in, or maybe how you view other places?
Not as much. I mean, because it's college football. I mean, that's why you come to college and play football. Each and every week, I mean, it's going to be a elite atmosphere. It's going to be fun. The environment's going to be fun. You just got to go in, stay calm, be yourself, and don't let the moment be too big for you.
KJ, you got a lot of new targets, just like you did last year. Is there anybody that you've developed chemistry with so far on this roster coming in?
I want to say all my guys. I mean, I get everybody in on weekends or after a lift or something like that. We'll come in and we're all good in, do time and work on routes and just building that chemistry, that bond, and that time.
KJ, what can Oklahoma and Texas expect when they enter this conference, and what to you stands out about SEC play?
SEC play is just a very physical conference. I mean, just week in and week out, you see the best of the best competing at a very high level. And for Texas and Oklahoma, I mean, just being able to come in and compete at a very high level and just remain physical.
KJ, I know he wasn't your position coach, but Dowell Loggins, what was he kind of like to have around as a coach? And I guess did you work with him, and what were your kind of impressions?
Coach Loggins, I mean, a very great guy to be around off the field and on the field, and just his experience being able to coach in the league and around some great quarterbacks like Vince Young and those guys like that. So just being able to have a guy like that on your staff and that can really teach you and tell you what to expect when you get to the next level and stuff like that, it was a blessing.
Was that something you picked his brain on at all, if at all?
A little bit. We'll talk about it in a little bit, just about how did he coach them and, you know, what was their how did you coach them based on footwork and, you know what I'm saying, different things like that? What were their weaknesses and how did you coach them in their strengths and stuff like that? So, I mean, we always had back and forth conversations about it.
KJ, you didn't commit to Sam Pittman out of high school. He came in after you were already at Arkansas. What has this journey been like with Coach Pittman? And, I mean, obviously it's not something you foresaw coming out of high school, but what's the journey been like with Coach Pittman and just how he interacts with you guys and everything?
It's been fun. I mean, since he's came in, since day one, I mean, his biggest thing was establishing relationships with us. And I feel like he has a relationship with each and every one on the team. He just brings that will and that fire in you, that motivation to just go out there and just play your hearts out each and every time you step on the field. So it's been very fun for me, and I just love what he's doing for Arkansas and for the state of Arkansas.
When he was hired, taking you back a little bit, when you first heard that Sam Pittman was going to be hired as head coach, you didn't know him or anything. What were your initial thoughts? And then 5 minutes after meeting him, what were your thoughts?
My initial thoughts was, the main thing was, my initial thought was, who is he going to bring in for offensive coordinator? That was my main thing. Who was going to be my coach? Who's going to help develop me as a man off the field and as a player on the field? So that was my biggest thing. And then after he had his speech and he talked to us, and then I just really fell in love with him ever since then, because his biggest thing was relationships, rather than us. He's treating us like robots, and we just going through the same pattern over and over. And it's a close-knit team. It's player-led relationships. Everybody understand everybody knows. Rocky know my why, I know Rocky's why. Everybody just bonded, and we all getting along really well.